A lot of the new games I want to play are either coming up or have come out with a botched, buggy release, and I decided to skip them for the time being. So I've decided to dip into my backlog and pull out some things I've been meaning to play. Being a 3D platformer connoisseur myself, one of the games that completely passed me by as a kid is KAO the Kangaroo. This game is right up my alley and oozes all the tropes of the PS2 era of 3D platformers. So with the remake and this lull of games, I hopped in. I like this scrappy kangaroo and his design is really good. As for the game itself, the trophy run, it's fine. I had fun, but in hindsight, I see why I might have missed it back in the day. It's awesome that the devs stayed faithful to the original, and that's exactly what fans wanted, but I feel the game is of its time. The trophy run is just fine as well, and it's actually in line with some of the games we've covered already on the channel, like Jak and Daxter and Sly Cooper. We are still going to cover this game and give it its shine though, because I think KAO as a character is awesome. So come with me down memory lane if you were someone who played this game way back in the day. Oh, and one more thing. Toys for Bob, don't be cowards. Put KAO in Crash Team Rumble as DLC. They are begging you to do it. This bouncy boy is ready to rumble. This is Platinum Hunters, the show where we take a look at everything it takes to get the Platinum Trophy and whether it's worth the effort to achieve it. I got no shortage of platformers covered already on this channel in trophy guide form. You just gotta take a look. We got Crash, we got Spyro, we got Jak, we got Skylanders, we got Sly, we got Ratchet. There's no shortage. Check out any of these videos and subscribe for more trophy guide videos just like this one, because you might just find your next Platinum Trophy. We have seen this Platinum run many times before already, stuff like Jak and Daxter, Sly Cooper, Spyro the Dragon, and so on. It's just, this time the trophy count is pretty low. It only has 15 trophies if you don't include the PLAT, and you don't even have to get all 100% of the collectibles. This Platinum run is pretty damn easy, and that's really because the game itself is pretty easy. If you are a seasoned player of platformers, you are going to wallop this one. There's not much else to say, so get ready for a chill experience, and note that I've got more helpful guides in the description below to assist you. We will start our bouncing adventure with the 6 unmissable trophies you can get just by playing through the stories, defeating the bosses one by one until you defeat the last one and complete the game. You know, typical mascot platformer things. With 6 trophies dedicated to just the story, that carves out a third of the trophies we have to collect. For one of those boss fights, you can collect the Flawless Victory Trophy if you defeat that boss without taking any damage during the fight. It can be done on any one of the 4 bosses you will go up against, and aside from maybe the last fight, it's pretty easy to collect this trophy on the other 3. I did it on the first boss, and you just have to watch out for the wave attacks the most. None of these bosses are all that difficult to begin with, so this trophy should be pretty simple to get. Now we get into the section with the bulk of the trophies, which is our many collectibles you can find in this game. It wouldn't be a mascot platformer without them. We'll start with the runes, which act as your progression collectible that unlocks access to the levels for you. You ultimately need all of the runes to get the Master Key Trophy, and the magic number to collect is 50. These are scattered usually along the main level paths, and that makes sense considering you need them to unlock levels. In total, I missed 2 of these after I was done with the story, so I had to go back and find them. I've included a guide down below to show you where all the collectibles are, including the rest of the ones we will talk about, but these ruins were easy enough to find on my own, and the game tells you how many you're missing when you start up the level and also inside the pause menu. Same situation for the 30 KAO letters you need so you can get the KAO Trophy. Every level has the letters K, A, and O hidden in the environment, and you have to complete our Scrappy Son's name like it's Sesame Street, but with a late 90s, early 2000s edge. There are 10 levels, and 3 letters in each, so you have 30 of them to look out for, and they're hidden much better than the ruins found almost exclusively on side paths and isolated areas. I put in the effort to find them myself, but that doesn't mean you have to do that. You can use a guide to find them, and I've provided one in the description below. The good thing about these letters is that they appear in order, so if you're missing an O, it's going to be found at the end of the level. Use that to your advantage when looking for them. The next item to collect just requires you to put those boxing gloves to good use and beat it out of your foes. To get the Find 'em All trophy, you have to collect all 14 scrolls that fill the enemy entries in the KAOpedia. The KAOpedia is your journal in the pause menu, and finding these scrolls will help flesh it out. I mean it when I say you beat it out of your opponents, because these scrolls you are looking for will drop from the enemy you walloped. They are exclusive, so only the Frogster enemies drop the Frogster journal entry and so on. So just keep fighting foes until you have every entry you're missing and the trophy pops. This next collectible is definitely one where you want to use a guide to help you with it. Now we are focusing on your health and maximizing it for the healthy trophy. KAO starts off with 3 hearts, but he can expand it by 1 for every 4 heart fragments you collect. You can keep buffing our boy up until he has 10 hearts, so that means you have to collect 28 heart fragments. Most of them are going to come from hidden locations in the levels found the same way as the KAO letters. However, the pause menu won't tell you how many you've collected in a level, so if you're missing 1 or 2 of them, you're going to have to go level by level looking for it, so use a guide to make it easier. The rest of the heart fragments can be purchased from shops in each hub world for 500 coins each. There are only a few in each of these places, but keep buying them until you purchase them all. That will get you to 10 hearts and the trophy as well. In this remake, they kept it faithful to the point where you still have lives. No shade meant by that statement, as Crash and Saint Trilogy also kept the lives too. But it's relevant to mention because for the health insurance trophy, you will need to build your count to 20 in order to pop it. As you play, you will find lives just sitting in levels, but there is no currency you can collect that will automatically give you a life, like for example when you hit 99 Wumpa Fruits. So the bulk of the life count is going to be bought in the same shops you buy the heart fragments. Each life is 500 coins, and unlike the heart fragments, you can purchase as many as you want. After you buy 3 or 4 of the lives, they will disappear, but all you gotta do is leave the hub world and return to it, and the shop will restock again. 20 is not a bad number compared to the 99 lives you had to get for each Crash game, which of course they had a trophy for, and you had to grind out. And the last collectibles trophy to find is called Between Worlds. This trophy will be for finding and completing all 14 Eternal Wells levels. This collectible comes in the form of a purple well, and accessing it will drop you into a bonus level that will have more platforming to do. These bonus levels are all fun to do, and for it to count towards the trophy it requires you to make it to the very end. The well portals themselves are not too hard to find, but I did miss well 6 when I was cruising through the story. The rest I found pretty easily, but just being curious and exploring side paths will get you all of them. In the hub world, you can check and see which ones you are missing and then look it up in a guide. Keep in mind that you only need wells 1 to 14 and that wells from 15 and up are part of the O Well DLC pack. This pack gives you extra bonus levels to complete and unlock more costumes for KAO to wear. Now with all the collectibles covered, we have just 2 miscellaneous trophies left to cover, and that's it. With only 16 trophies in the Platinum run, you bet this guide is going by fast. We just spoke about costumes, and lo and behold, there's a trophy called Mystery of the Volcano for just that. You have to wear either the hat or shirt costume pieces that come from the way KAO looks in KAO 3. I don't even think this game got an official North American release, or at least that's what Wikipedia is saying. But it can be accessed through your wardrobe at the shop, and you just have to wear one of these outfit pieces to get the trophy to pop. I personally like the Cyberpunk 2077 KAO or the ukulele costumes the best. Finally, it's time to finish him with this last trophy called Fatality for defeating 5 enemies using one finisher. If you build up your combo meter, you can unleash a devastating attack that will disrupt the cheeks of all the enemies around you. Doing this with the regular version is kinda tricky, even if a healthy swarm of enemies is around you. I personally think that you should have the fire version of the finisher, and that does extra damage and will ensure the grunts surrounding you don't survive the attack. And that's it! We have very swiftly punched our way through each trophy in the Platinum run. That's another 3D platformer IP on my list cleared, and I can already think of another blind spot I have to get to with Ty the Tasmanian Tiger. But as for this game, if you put an end to this mysterious force haunting KAO's lands, spelled your name about a dozen times, collected a bunch of other things because this is a 3D platformer and that's what you do, bonded with your sentient boxing gloves and collected all the trophies, congratulations! You will be awarded the full set Platinum Trophy for Kao the Kangaroo. So the Oh Well DLC we mentioned earlier has no trophies, but the Bend the Rooles DLC does, and there are some weirdness with the way the trophies were released. When the DLC was first released, it might have been released on both the PS4 and PS5 platforms simultaneously, but the trophies were only given to the PS4 version of the DLC. I didn't know that when I started playing the PS5 version, so my plan was to skip it until they fixed it, if they ever fixed it. But like an instant transmission from the devs, the day I got the Platinum Trophy, boom, trophies. The PS5 version now has the trophies for the Bend the Rooles DLC, and we are going to cover them in a Platinum Hunters New Game Plus episode. Actually, no, we're not going to cover them in a New Game Plus episode. We're going to do it right now. The Bend the Rooles DLC gives us a new story, 4 new levels to complete, and a new threat to take out named King Crab. He's literally just a very big crab. But anyways, the trick this time is that all 4 new levels have an easy mode and a hard mode version of them that need to be both completed once, if not twice, to pick things up you missed. This DLC is a bit more difficult to complete, which I found is a much needed thing considering how easy the base game was. The first thing you'll want to do is play through all the new levels, which will be easy mode the first time you play them. You will unlock these 4 trophies on screen now when you make it to the end of the levels for the first time on easy mode. These levels might look familiar in their environment motifs, but they do have some new level elements in them like races, 2D platforming sections, and a few other new things. The fireflies in the dark remind me of the Crash Bug Light levels. I even saw some shades of Crash 4 in the Twisted Hideout level. Generally, these levels are tougher than the base game ones, and with a hard mode version of each, it gets a bit trickier. On screen now are the trophies you get for clearing the hard mode levels for the first time. The level layouts between the 2 versions are pretty much identical, and lots of set pieces are exactly the same. Where the levels differ in hard mode is with things like the race timers being shorter or certain sections having a lot more hazards. Ultimately, these changes never really create an exponential increase in difficulty, but this is the challenge that I think the base game is missing. Plus, the devs got the opportunity to experiment here, so I think these levels are all great. After you've completed the 4 other levels and gotten enough runes, you can now enter the Eternal Sea and take on the main baddie. You will have to survive the level first, but you can get the Royal Nap Trophy once you make it to the end and fight and defeat King Crab. Again, he's just a big crab. Not a hard boss fight by any means, but it is certainly a step up from any of the ones found in the main campaign. In that same level, the Eternal Sea, you can find an Easter egg that gets you a trophy. It's the Familiar Face Trophy, and you have to find the frozen pirate from KAO 2. It's buried a bit deeper in the level after you are 2D platforming across the broken pirate ship parts. You will get to the pirate ship with all the enemies, and the Easter egg is hidden in the captain's quarters. Knock off the doors, and there he is. I'm sure fans of the series might know more about him, but this guy is here, and this is where you find him. You didn't have to do this in the base game's trophy set, but now our final trophy of this DLC is called Diamond Fever, and you get it by collecting all of the diamonds. We traded in KAO letters for diamonds this time, and there are a total of 41 to find, which are all very hidden in sneaky spots. This will include finding them in both the easy and hard versions of each level, and the guide is below to help you. The placement of diamonds and the number of diamonds to collect differs between easy and hard versions of levels, so don't expect to find them all on your own easily. That closes out all the trophies you need to collect for 100% in the Bend the Rooles DLC for Kao the Kangaroo. Overall, maybe Kao is not my fave mascot platformer in the pantheon of them all, and I don't think I missed anything back then. But I also can't say that I had a bad time with this and I was entertained for the short romp. The trophy run is a lot easier than some contemporaries and reminds me a lot of the Spyro trophy runs. You'll be done quickly, especially if you've played this game before, and you just have to find the collectibles, which not even all of them are required anyways. I think this is a good palate cleanser plat that you can jump in easily after completing a big, demanding game. Plus, if you want a bit more challenge without reaching crash levels of insanity, the Bend the Rooles DLC is there for you. The scrappiest platforming mascot is back, and I don't think KAO is going back to the recesses of our memories anytime soon. So let's see what they come up with next. Whether they do a remake of the next KAO 2 or a brand new adventure. Or Crash Team Rumble, come on! This boy is ready! Thank you guys so much for watching. That's another platformer down that I never got to as a kid. I never got to play KAO. I don't know why. I was pretty engrossed with all the platforming games at the time that this came out. I just never got to this one. So it's good to clear a blind spot in my rear view mirror, and I hope you guys do the same if you haven't played this game. Go check it out. It's short, it's easy, it'll get you a quick plat and a good palate cleanser for when you're gonna play your next big game. I have another big game coming up. We're gonna be celebrating 2,000 subscribers on the channel, and I've already chosen the game, beaten it. I'm writing the script, and it's almost ready to touch down. So definitely subscribe for more, and I can't wait to celebrate 2,000 subscribers with you. I hope all your trophy hunting expeditions go incredibly well where you find diamonds, because diamonds are forever, apparently. Peace out.